eyes never lie. Hidden truths behind every gaze introduction. The silent language of the eyes. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. But if you pause long enough, really pause, you will realize that the eyes are not just windows. Our confessions. They whisper truths we may not want to hear, reveal emotions we try to bury, and expose what words attempt to disguise. For many of us, especially in today's fast-paced, digital world, we've grown accustomed to reading texts. Instead of faces, emojis; instead of emotions and notifications; instead of genuine connection. Yet no matter how far technology advances, one thing remains unchanged. The eyes never lie. If you've ever looked into someone's gaze and felt chills down your spine, if you've ever sensed trust, love, or even betrayal just from the way someone looked at you, then you already understand the hidden power behind every glance. In this journey, we'll explore the psychology of eye contact, uncover why the human gaze is so powerful, and more importantly, discover how you can harness this truth in your everyday life to build deeper connections, strengthen relationships, and live more authentically. Part 1. Why the eyes reveal what words cannot. Words can be rehearsed. Smiles can be faked. But the eyes have no filter. They are the body's ultimate truth tellers. Science tells us that more than 70% of communication is nonverbal. Micro-expressions, gestures, posture, they all reveal hidden layers of meaning. Yet among these, the eyes carry the heaviest weight. Psychologists have found that our pupils dilate when we feel attraction, that our gaze shifts when we feel guilty, and that we blink more often when we're nervous or lying. Think about the last time someone looked away just as you asked them a tough question. You probably didn't need their words to know the truth. You saw it. For an American audience raised in a culture that values directness, eye contact is more than just courtesies credibility. From job interviews to first dates, from courtroom testimonies to casual conversations, the eyes silently determine trustworthiness before a single sentence is spoken. But here's the deeper truth. The eyes don't just expose lies. They reveal longing. They reveal loneliness. They reveal everything we've been too afraid to say out loud. Part 2. The cultural weight of eye contact. Eye contact is universal, but its meaning changes with context. In some cultures, holding a gaze too long is seen as disrespectful. In America, avoiding eye contact is often read as insecurity or dishonesty. This cultural lens is important, especially for those over 25 navigating careers, relationships, and leadership roles. In the US, confidence is currency, and eye contact is often the receipt. If you can hold someone's gaze, you are seen as present, authentic, and trustworthy. If you can't, you risk being misunderstood, even if your intentions are pure. This is why so many successful leaders, from presidents giving speeches to CEOs pitching visions, master their gaze as much as their words. Because people don't just listen with their ears, they listen with their eyes. But let's be honest, maintaining authentic eye contact is not always easy. It requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is something we've been trained to fear. Part 3. The psychology of vulnerability in the eyes. Why do people look away when they're nervous, ashamed, or in love? Because the eyes strip away our armor. They expose what's raw and unguarded. When someone dares to hold your gaze, they are saying, "Here I am, no masks, no pretenses." That level of exposure can feel terrifying. Think of the moments in your own life when you couldn't maintain eye contact, when admitting a mistake, when saying "I love you" for the first time, when hiding pain you didn't want others to notice. Your eyes were screaming a truth your lips couldn't bear to say. And this is why, for relationships, whether romantic, familial, or professional, eye contact becomes a litmus test of trust. Two people can look into each other's eyes without fear. Signals not only honesty but also courage. Part 4. Eyes in love. Eyes in conflict love and conflict two of life's greatest emotional extremes, both written in the eyes. When you're in love, you don't need constant words of affirmation. A single glance can say, "You're my safe place." Neuroscientists call this the love gaze, a phenomenon where couples unconsciously synchronize their eye contact, creating feelings of intimacy and connection. On the flip side, conflict is also waged in the eyes. Anyone who has been in an argument knows this. Sometimes the silence in a stare is louder than the shouting. Eyes narrow when we're suspicious. They roll when we're dismissive. They avert when we're hiding guilt. Learning to read these cues doesn't just improve communication, it protects relationships. Because sometimes what isn't said out loud is the most important truth of all. Asterisk Part 5. Practical ways to use eye contact in daily life. Knowing that the eyes never lie is powerful. But how do we apply this wisdom? Here are practical strategies you can begin using today. Practice presence. When speaking with someone, your partner, your colleague, your child, put down your phone. Look into their eyes. Even 5 seconds of undistracted gaze communicates, "You matter to me." Use the 60-40ths rule. During conversations, aim to hold eye contact about 60% of the time while speaking and 40% while listening. This balance shows confidence without being intimidating. Pay attention to pupils. If someone's pupils dilate, it often signals interest or excitement. If they contract, it may mean disapproval or stress. Train yourself to notice. Soften your gaze. Don't stare aggressively, that creates discomfort. Instead, focus gently with warmth. Imagine you're looking through the person, not at them. Mirror with respect. Subtly matching someone's blinking or gaze patterns can create a subconscious sense of connection. But remember, authenticity is key. Use eye contact to diffuse conflict. When someone is upset, instead of raising your voice, maintain calm and steady eye contact. It signals strength without aggression. These practices may feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, they become natural. And once they do, you'll notice how differently people respond to you with more trust, more openness, and more respect. Asterisk Part 6. Healing through the eyes. 1. Of the most overlooked truths about eye contact is its power to heal. Think of a parent looking into their newborn's eyes, calming them without a word. Or a friend silently holding your gaze when you're too broken to speak. Or even a therapist offering steady eye contact as you process your deepest wounds. The eyes carry empathy. They carry presence. They carry a promise. You're not alone. For those over 25, many of us carry scars, broken relationships, disappointments, betrayals. We learn to hide them with busyness, achievements, or even forced smiles. But the healing begins when someone sees us and we allow ourselves to be seen. The eyes create that bridge. And in a world full of distractions, truly see and be seen is one of the most sacred human experiences we can offer. Asterisk Part 7. Why we fear being seen. If the eyes are so powerful, why do so many people avoid them? The answer lies in fear. A fear of judgment, fear of exposure, fear that if someone looks deeply enough, they'll discover the insecurities we work so hard to hide. But here's the paradox. It's the very thing we fear, being truly sin's also what we crave most. Genuine eye contact, though uncomfortable at times, feeds our deepest need for connection. So the challenge is not just learning to look into others' eyes, but also having the courage to let others look into ours. Asterisk Part 8. The modern problem. Eyes lost to screens. One of the greatest tragedies of modern life is that we've replaced eye contact with screen contact. Couples sit across from each other, each staring into their phones. Families eat dinner while glued to television. Friends gather but spend half the time scrolling social media. This erosion of eye contact is not a small issue. It's a crisis of connection. Research shows that children who grow up with less face-to-face interaction struggle more with empathy, and emotional intelligence. Adults who avoid eye contact often report higher levels of loneliness and disconnection. The solution isn't to abandon technology, but to reclaim our humanity by being intentional. Put the phone down, look up, and meet someone's gaze. Asterisk Part 9. Applying this truth at home. So, how can you start today at home in your own life? With your partner, spend 5 minutes a day just looking into each other's eyes without words. It may feel strange at first, but couples who practice this report deeper intimacy. With your kids, when they tell you a story, stop what you're doing, crouch to their level, and give them your full gaze. It builds their confidence more than praise ever could. With yourself, stand in front of the mirror and look into your own eyes. Ask, what am I hiding? What am I longing for? You may be surprised at the truths staring back at you. Eye contact is not just about others. It's also about the courage to face ourselves. Conclusion: the eyes never light the end of the day. You can rehearse your words, you can polish your appearance, you can hide behind social media profiles and curated images, but the eyes, they will always betray the truth. And that's not something to fear, something to embrace. Because when you dare to look and dare to be seen, you invite a deeper level of life. One where connection is not surface level, but soul level. One where you don't just hear others, but truly see them. One where your relationships stop being transactional, start being transformational. So remember this, every gaze carries a truth. Every glance is a story. Every eye is a mirror. The question is, will you choose to look away?